great. Oh, I'm foiling. I didn't even know it. I gotta get to my cameraman. Oh, I'm going. I'm foiling. Ow! Ow! Now, traditionally, Fliteboard is known for their actual flight boards. Well, this is a new product, the Flitescooter, and it's meant to kind of ease that crossover, right?
Right,
And
right.
kind of lower that barrier to entry. So, George, before we get started, you're my instructor, so tell me a little bit about your personal experience on the Fliteboards.
Well, I've owned a couple of flight boards actually for 2 years. I've got about 2,700 miles on them.
Wow.
I've ridden in the ocean, ridden in the inland waters.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah, I just saw you out there cutting up, and
Yeah.
it certainly looks fun. I'm looking forward to
I
it.
think it'll be a lot of fun.
All right, let's make it happen.
Sounds good. Captain Trip, we've got a safety key here,
Okay.
which couples to the flight controller.
Okay, so this is like my safety lanyard. If I get disconnected from the board, this is what's going to stop the board?
This is your kill switch. There's an activation button on this.
Yep.
We've already used that, so we are connected to the board already,
Okay.
and you're ready to go.
Okay, good deal.
Okay?
And so this is connected to my
It is connected to the flight controller.
flight controller.
Yes.
let's have
So
a
the
look.
flight controller, you have a display, you have a plus and minus button, and you have a mode control button.
Okay.
And then this is your throttle. To activate the board, you will quickly rotate the throttle.
Okay.
You'll press the minus sign, and that will begin a 5-second countdown. Once you start that 5-second countdown, at any time during that countdown, you can twist the throttle,
Okay.
and you are under power.
I'm engaged. So I have 5 seconds to react once I do my little sequence.
That's correct.
Okay.
If you want to change speeds of the board, there are 20 different speeds. Think of them as gears.
Okay.
You do that with your plus and minus button.
Okay. The throttle is variable, right?
Yes, it is a variable speed throttle.
Okay, great. So I can set it wherever I want my maximum to be, and then just cruise it wherever I want to be.
You can, absolutely.
Okay.
You'll learn to feather this based
Exactly.
on conditions.
Based on trying to get up on the foil.
Exactly.
Okay. So I noticed that the Flitescooter, this is a larger board, more like a paddle board. So when I get out there, I don't have to worry about it flipping over and things. I can stand upon it with it just sitting still in the water, right?
You can. It's got enough buoyancy to support you standing up in the conditions that you've got out there today. Not
Okay.
a problem.
Great. So that's one of the main things that might intimidate people is getting started on the board, but then also getting up on the foil. They have the handlebars that kind of help just stabilize things, right?
It is a much more stable platform, absolutely.
Where am I going to be standing?
You'll probably put your feet somewhere near the handlebars.
Yes.
You don't have to stagger your feet with one forward, one back.
So it's more of a natural standing stance.
It is a natural stance.
Okay.
And then you'll just activate the control,
Yes.
modulate the throttle,
Yeah.
and just get a feel for how easy it is. You'll start off on the surface, not foiling, and you'll get a feel for the stability. You'll get a feel for how to turn the board using your weight. And then as you give it more power, it will begin to foil.
And so whenever I start foiling, I kind of want to come up, foil, come back down, and kind of like learn the foiling feel before I just try to go all out foiling, right?
Yes, I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah, do that first.
Well, you know, we may have to try both ways, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, initial impressions. I'm impressed, that's to say the least. But what I really like is it is in fact easy, just like they said. So the barrier to entry on one of these isn't very high. I mean, not only can you get off and get on a boat just like I did, but starting out, you don't have to be on plane or anything. You could just stay standing on the board, give her some throttle, cruise along. And then what was very surprising is how quickly I actually got up on foil. I didn't really even know it. I was thinking to myself, okay, you know, what's happening? I was, focusing on my controls, when all of a sudden I noticed, oh my goodness, I'm foiling. Here we go. and it wasn't too bad. But another thing that I was a little concerned about was turning. Well, it turns out that wasn't too bad. Just a little shift in your body weight, but also if I wasn't comfortable doing that, I had the handlebars to assist me in that. And it made turning a lot easier than I thought. But it was great to learn on this to get a feel for how to feather the throttle and things to help you stay up on foil and flying through the waves and stuff. Because it is a little dicey out here. We got pretty breezy and some waves, but this made it easy even in those conditions. Now I want to introduce you to Skylar. He's our Fliteboard expert and flight school instructor. He's going to give you a little more detailed overview of the Flitescooter.
So as Tripp said, here we have the Flitescooter. I'm going to walk you through nose to tail, all the cool features that they have included on this brand new design. So you'll notice up here on the top, you have your traditional Fliteboard controller. It integrates perfectly with the mast. You see there, it pops in and out nice and easy. Pops right in, the lock on the bottom clicks, and now it's set in, it's not coming out. Here you can see the mast connects to the board. It's a quick release, and then if you wanted to use it without the mast and use it as a traditional larger Fliteboard Air, there's a cap that can plug right on that, and then you're off with a larger Fliteboard Air. Pops back in, twists and locks, and now you're ready to Flitescooter once again. In here we have the battery. You can see here, this is a fiber optic LED indicator. All the electronics are actually not in the board, but they're in the flight box that's integrated at the top of the mast. So you can see in here is the head of the flight box with the positive and negative terminals coming out. This is the Fliteboard battery. There's no current going to the positive and negative terminals until you activate it with a magnet. Now you can do that either with the magnet in the lid when you close the board so it knows it's safe to ride, or you can do it when you're charging. So that way the battery knows it's safe to send current. Close the lid, you'll hear a little ding, the flight box turning on, and then the LED indicators will come on just like that. And you'll see there right now, it's searching for the remote. This board, unlike the other two boards we have, is not a carbon board. This board has an inflatable bladder all around the outside. And what that allows is extra stability, extra weight capacity, or if you're using it on a boat like so many people do down here in South Florida, you can pull this right up to a boat or dock, step right off and not worrying about it being damaged or damaging any fiberglass or material that your boat's made of.
Of course, everyone wants to know how fast they can go and for how long. The answer is that it depends on you and how much you weigh and your riding ability. The heavier you are, the harder the motor needs to work to propel you through the water. It's the same in a boat. The heavier it is, the more horsepower or energy it takes to get on plane. Here we see a chart which is on the Flitescooter's website that answers the question of speed and time according to 3 different weights when the Flitescooter is powered with its Explorer battery. The charts are in metric because Fliteboard is a worldwide company, but we've converted the numbers to pounds and statute miles. Chart number 1 shows the performance that can be expected on the Flitescooter for a person weighing 176 pounds. The scooter must go 11 miles per hour minimum to get on foil, and at that speed, it can fly for 1 hour and 45 minutes and go about 19 miles. Chart number 2 gives the time and distance foiling at 11 miles an hour for a person weighing 154 pounds, which is 1 hour and 55 minutes, going about 21.7 miles. Chart 3 shows that a person weighing 132 pounds can foil for over 2 hours at 11 miles an hour and travel 23.6 miles. Of course, you can go faster, say between 20 and 30 miles an hour, depending on your weight, but that will take more energy, making your endurance and range less. If I can get up on this thing, you can do it too. Fliteboard really has brought something that leaves this experience of foiling open to a wider range of riders. But now that I've kind of conquered the Flitescooter, I'm looking forward to learning more on the Fliteboard. I'm Captain Tripp with BoatTest, and remember, life's better on a boat or a board.